You're listening to The Front Stretch on AM 590, Omaha's ESPN Radio. Brought to you by Joe's Karting in Council Bluffs. Online at joeskarting.com.
This is Turn 3 on The Front Stretch, presented by Joe's Karting in Council Bluffs, located on 23rd Avenue next to AMC Theaters, and online at joeskarting.com. That's karting with a K. Get to Joe's today and get yourself some fast-paced, white-knuckle racing, where the only speed restriction is how fast you are.
And you're not.
No, I am not at all. Fairly slow. I didn't realize you would actually kick me off the track for how slow I was going, but...
If you were a NASCAR driver, you would be David Ruderman.
I don't think they would ever put me in a NASCAR. There would be no way. You guys won't even put me in a modified.
No.
And as we've already stated, you kicked me out of the karts, which now I just stick to my mini putt-putt. So, joined in studio by a legend himself, Joe Kasiski of i80 Speedway and the owner of Kasiski Auto Parts. Appreciate you joining us this morning. How you doing?
I'm doing just fine. First thing I'd like to do is have everybody have a happy Easter today.
It's going to be a great day today, and I got plans with the family. I know you guys have got plans coming up just after the show.
You betcha. We're going to go have a nice ham dinner.
I'm going to see how many eggs I can steal from my 8-year-old.
Another one of the beauties of having children, you can steal their eggs.
Well, yeah, it's fun, the Easter egg hunt.
Well, as we mentioned, Joe, you are the owner of i80 Speedway, and I want to talk a little bit. I've always, Bud and I have been friends for several years, and he's always talked to me about this legendary Joe Kasiski, and I'd like to get a little background. You're actually a very well-decorated champion of the local dirt track world and NASCAR-sanctioned events.
Yeah, I've won my share of feature races, won my fair share of championships, and to kind of put you right there, I'm a partner on i80 Speedway, so it's not myself, but yes, I am one of the partners.
I see. It's a full family business, though, correct?
Yes, sir.
You guys do a great job down there at i80 Speedway, and I hope that even though I've not made it out to a dirt track yet, I'm going to definitely add that to my list of tracks I need to go to this year. You have a lot of great things coming up throughout the year. What's the you guys got some races coming up this weekend, correct?
This weekend coming up, we've got a big special coming up. We're calling it Jackpot Weekend. Some of the numbers off of the winnings is coming out of basically like the casinos. One of the classes pays $777 to win, and another one's $678. And they got a couple different things. I mean, it's not just a flat $500 or $600, but it's Jackpot Weekend. It'll be A mods running both Friday and Saturday, B mods running Friday and Saturday, Pro-Ams. There's features both nights, and we're going to have a lot of fun with it.
Awesome.
How much does Bud get for running dead last?
Well, I'm going to inject right there.
It's just a pause.
The nice thing about i80 is even if you do run dead last, which, by the way, I make it look really good, you still get a little bit of something.
There is money for running dead last. That's the reason why Bud can afford to keep racing.
Yeah, that's right.
So you guys have this coming up this weekend. Is there any way that we can get, you said Friday night racing?
Friday night racing all year long this year at i80 Speedway. We're going to be running on Friday nights when we bring our season opener, our actual opener for weekly point racing in NASCAR. We'll start on May 4th, and it's going to be every Friday night from then till, I believe, the Friday of Labor Day or Sunday of Labor Day.
And just your everyday racing, what's that going to cost me to get in as a fan?
The month of May is $10 every day to get every Friday of May is $10 to get in. We've got a couple specials on a Thursday and Sunday at the end of May over the holiday weekend there, but if it's a Friday night race in May, it's $10.
The nice thing about $10, me and the wife just went and saw Safe House with Denzel Washington. By the way, guys, great movie. But when we went and saw the movies, the tickets, the popcorn, and whatnot to give her so she can eat while we're watching the movie, it's like $30-$40. And where else are you going to go in the Heartland and see, 20,000 horsepower coming off turn 4 for $10 and see a really action-packed show for 2 or 3 hours? $10 is nothing for what you get out there. I mean, you get so much.
And it's so much nicer to be out in the open air, out in the exposure. Maybe it rains on you a little bit, but that's a part of the gig. It's just like the best thing about baseball is going out and watching the game live. And I love it when venues like you guys take it to be a real note to make sure that you don't want to be more than a trip to the movie theaters, because it is expensive to go out and see those new movies, because you can't just go in and buy a ticket, even though the ticket in the door is like what? I think going right for a movie ticket's about $12, $14.
Something like that. Yep. Then here's the nice thing about i80 Speedway. You're going to see Andrew Kasiski. I'll be out there off and on this year. The one thing I want to stress also for him is when you go to like a baseball game or you go down to the Orpheum play or theater or whatever, you can go watch a show, but you may not necessarily be able to meet the cast and the characters. Well, you can meet the cast and characters every Friday night out at i80 Speedway. The drivers, they want you to meet them. Go down, take their pictures, shake hands, sit in the cars. I mean, you ain't going to find a nicer group of guys to be around on a Friday night.
And that's something I've known you can buy on the NASCAR level. You can buy yourself the pit passes to get down into the pits and walk around. Is that something that's a little bit extra of a cost, or is that something that's complimentary?
It's an extra cost for you to go down and go to the pits on Friday nights, but you really don't need to at the beginning of the night, because if you go up in the grandstands, you got the best seat in the house. You can see the whole racetrack, and after the races, you still got to go down and visit with the drivers while they're loading their cars. A lot of them sell T-shirts and have decal packages they give away to the kids and things like that. So there's a lot behind it that makes you want to be able to go down there and have fun with them. I
love the interaction that's in the racing that in no other sport you're able to connect right there with the drivers and talk to them, get autographs. This isn't a like an event where you could go to Bass Pro Shop and maybe meet Tony Stewart, but there's 40,000 people in line. This is something where you're able to go down and shake the hands of the drivers that you like, talk to them about racing and that kind of stuff. So it's an awesome event. What time do races usually get kicked off at i80?
Friday nights will be kicking off at 7:15. This Friday is going to be 7 o'clock, and then the following day will be 5:55. Another thing you get to do when you go down in the pits is a lot of times if you ask the drivers, can I sit in your car, a lot of the kids get to sit in the cars, and they get a real thrill out of that. It makes them a fan forever.
I don't know if I could fit into a car. How do you guys manage to squeeze into those cars?
You just go in there like if you were just buttered up in order to slide in the hole. I'm a little bigger than you are, Dan, and I fit right in them cars.
I'm looking at you, Joe, and all of a sudden I thought of a butterball turkey.
When you speak of turkey, you're talking about Buddy. Now, come on.
Now, what was the reason for you guys changing? You used to race for the longest time on Sunday nights, and now you've moved to Friday night racing. Can you go into a little bit of why you guys have decided to move to Friday nights?
Well, it's just a thought that we put a thought process in. Sunday nights, it seems like a lot of people are starting to be ready for school the next day. They're getting ready to go to work. Kids have to go to babysitters. Just so many things going on that they're trying to make the busy lives that we've all made ourselves get into that, we thought, let's try Friday nights. People are getting off work. They're ready to go out and hoot and howl. And, what's a better time to go hoot and howl than at race cars and having a little fun, making sure that the noise is there and they can do it for the weekend.
One thing as a driver, the one thing I like about Friday night racing is around here locally, close by, we don't have anybody racing on Sunday nights. So now I can go get my Speed Freak on, Friday nights and Saturday nights. Well, now Sunday I can spend the afternoon with my family. I can take them fishing. I can even go camping late Saturday night. There's just, it opens up your entire itinerary for the weekend, and you don't have to miss out on a lot of family time, and it's great.
You can watch more NASCAR.
Well, we also found out that a lot of people, when you start talking about it, when we said we was going to go to Friday nights, that the Sunday night people are going, oh, great, I was having such a hard time trying to leave the cabin and maybe making it once in a while. I can go Friday night as soon as I'm off work, and it's not going to really change my schedule much. I can go to the cabin after I'm done on Friday night and be there for the weekend, come home Sunday, and be ready for work.
And Friday night racing kicks off, you said May 4th is your opening weekend?
May 4th will be our first Friday night for weekly racing, and it'll be NASCAR sanctioned again this year.
So what are the special events you guys have coming up that you've got scheduled throughout the year? I know Buddy's a big fan of, Silver Dollar Nationals, right?
Oh, yeah, the granddaddy of them all. This is going to be great.
Talk to us a little bit about creating that and what it did for you guys as far as buzz and some of the excitement that's created at i80.
Well, the Silver Dollar National is one of the biggest races in the Midwest. It's really just magnificent. It goes on. It pays $25,000 to win the late model feature, and then we have the USMTS modifieds to go along with it. And the USMTS modifieds are the best modified drivers in the world. They're not the Buds. They're the guys that are just a little better than Bud. And I'm not saying a lot better than Bud, but just a little better than Bud.
Just a fuzz.
Enough to actually win a race.
Well, they have a lot of fun out there, and they travel all across the country. Last year we had USMTS modified drivers, Las Cruces, New Mexico, Texas. They were here from everywhere. Minnesota. It was a great show. I shouldn't say just them three states, but I'm just trying to give you, from Colorado, from all out west, east, south. They were come from everywhere. It is the first show is one of the national shows. For the Friday show is one of the national shows for the USMTS, along with the qualifying. It's a double heat race qualifying for the Lucas Oil MLRA late models. And that's a venue of its own because nobody else gets to run 2 heat races. Lucas Oil wouldn't allow it. They didn't allow us last year. They didn't come on board with us. And today I got a text that said the World Outlaw Late Model Show is canceled in Michigan that run against us last year, or was going to run against us this year. They canceled it today. So now we've got about all the big birds coming from everywhere across the country. They'll be here from North Carolina. We've been selling tickets in North Carolina, Milwaukee.
Wow.
Just this week, I mean, we probably sold 25 tickets just all around the country.
Wow, that's
and
awesome.
Not only, Dan, I want to mention something. Not only is it really, really, really good racing, but like for me, I'm not going to run this one. I'll probably sit out because you got 3 or 4 days you can sit out there and camp. You won't even believe it how many campers will come out there and see us. It's going to look like it's a really big NASCAR race, and that's because it is. This is the best, guys. This is what they do for a living. It's a lot of fun to hang out there, watch racing, go out, drink beer, hang out with your friends all weekend, and it's really a weekend where you get to just have fun and lay back.
So this would be a lot like Speed Weeks for NASCAR.
Agreed.
It's a lot like Speed Weeks.
Yeah.
It starts on Thursday night with an SLMR race and practice for a couple of these other classes, and it'll be really a great weekend. I mean, if you get out there, Dan, I'm hoping if any time you're going to come to I-80 Speedway, you come over the Silver Dollar now.
I don't think Bud won't let me go this year. He was begging me and making me. He was almost dragging me there last year, but I can't remember what I came up with some really good excuse. I mean, I had something really important I had to do.
Yeah.
Well, Andrew says he's not racing, so you might as well come out and have a beer with him.
Just one though, right?
He could have 2.
Okay, we're gonna let you double
But he has
up
to
this
be
year.
in shape. He has to be in shape to race again the next weekend. So that's all he can do.
We're talking about the Silver Dollar Nationals, and you're going to see some of the drivers, between the USMTS and the Silver Dollar Nationals, you're going to see drivers that are eventually going to make it to the Cup Series. But I want to backpedal a little bit here. As much as we're talking about this event, when you're looking at just the weekly drivers at NASCAR, you got guys that have unprecedented stats anywhere in the nation. I mean, we're talking the best of the best. We have Jesse Sabine, 100 times a year he's racing. He's winning 55. That's 55%. If we're running 20 shows and we're winning 6 or 7 of them, that's spectacular. This guy's biblical. But then you got Craig Preble. You got Andrew Kasiski here, who likes to run second to Bill Layton every week. I mean, he makes second look good.
That's biblical. I'm about 50% second place.
We're running out of time here for this segment, so let's wrap it up real quick. Give us some contact information. Where can we go for a full schedule, ticket prices, and that kind of stuff?
Go to i-80speedway.com.
And that's 80. It's not spelled out 80.
Right, that's
Okay.
80, i-80speedway.com.
Awesome. And where exactly are you guys located? I've never been to the track, so I couldn't tell you.
The racetrack is located right off of the Greenwood-Ashland exit. If you're heading towards Lincoln, you go one exit past Mahoney Park, and it's 100 yards off the interstate.
So it's very easy to get to. Joe, it's been an absolute honor to have you in studio. We really appreciate you joining us all day today. We're going to keep talking with Joe coming up into Turn 4, as we're going to talk with Andrew about the Wheeling Series for NASCAR. I think I pronounced it right that time. The Wheeling Series, as it gets kicked off this weekend. You're not going to want to miss it. This is The Front Stretch, presented by Joe's Karting in Council Bluffs on AM 590, Omaha's ESPN Radio.
This is Andrew from Kasiski Auto Parts. Kasiski Auto Parts is an insurance-quality used parts supplier that can match your foreign or domestic car or truck needs. If you have a damaged or broke-down car or truck, we guarantee a clean and quality part in next-day fashion. Kasiski Auto Parts, your neighborhood premium recycled parts supplier. Call any Kasiski Auto Parts salesman today by dialing 402-731-4592 or visit us at 5040 I Street in Omaha. Kasiski Auto Parts, our quality used parts will match your car or truck's needs.
Are you ready for fast-paced, adrenaline-pumping, wheel-to-wheel racing right here in the Metro? Get to Joe's Karting in Council Bluffs and see what it's like to race real go-karts. Joe's Karting knows it's no fun to race go-karts at 10 miles per hour, so they ripped the governors out, and now the only restriction is how good you are at racing. It's full-throttle, white-knuckle racing every day of the week. Head over to joeskarting.com for hours, prices, and specials, or give Buddy a call today and set up your group races at 712-256-5278.